So I'm just zooming in on that little beast there. Look at that above the blue jay. For anyone that doesn't know, that is the beautiful flag of of Cumbria. Oh, so look at that. Look at that. It's proper bright today, and it just got me thinking on the way here, because I was sort of driving thinking, oh, it's lovely. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful to be out in it and to drive in it and to go on a hike in it like I'm doing up this beast. But for photography, it's not great, is it? I'm sure most of us surely can agree with that. And it's just weird because the vast majority of the population, you know, of 99% of people just think this is beautiful. And it is. Don't get me wrong, when I'm not doing photography, it's class, but I just think the conditions aren't perfect. And I want to touch upon it a little bit because I think it's interesting. First, let me get us back to the van because I want to show you this. So we've got a little bit of pasta and sauce, chicken and mushroom flavour no less, and we've got some pineapple fingers, juicy and sweet no less. So I'm going to get them scoffed in a sec, and then yeah, we'll crack on this hike, and I'll have a bit of a chat about my planned adventure. I'm actually planning to stay in the van tonight, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the conditions, it's mad because I think it just, sometimes we can sound a bit moany, can't we, landscape photographers, moaning about the conditions, and a day like today is a perfect example. It's beautiful, everyone's mad for this. People wait all year for this, and then it arrives and we start moaning as landscape photographers. But you know, it's true, isn't it? There's not really that much interest, but I shall definitely still enjoy it. But I'm going to get the old pasta and sauce on the go, enjoy the pineapple fingers, and we'll chat about it a little bit more, and we'll talk about today's sunset hike as well.
We got time on our side, we're in a state of home. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you.
So looking on the positive side of things, which is what I do all the time, to be fair, with the conditions, is, like I said, it's just so beautiful to be out in that you cannot complain about this, especially when, you know, the landscapes that I generally photograph, the conditions can be the opposite. They can be absolutely horrendous. So this is welcomed. And one thing that I always say about these conditions when we're talking about landscape photography is that at least we're going to be guaranteed, you know, nice light on the land. All right, we've got no clouds. The sky's well boring for me. Like I say, for me, because it's opinion based. Some people might think this is quality, and you have to remember that if you're a beginner. Don't just listen to people like me saying that these conditions are rubbish. It's true, you know, make your own decisions. You know, you may end up loving these sorts of conditions, and you know, it might suit your style of photography. But for me, I have to think a little bit harder. But it's glorious, absolutely glorious. It's mad as well in summer. I mean, yeah, 20th of June, tomorrow is summer solstice. It's the longest day, and I'm setting off on my hike at 20 to 8 at night in the evening. The light is just mad how much daylight we get. Now this should be a really simple hike. It is a Wainwright, Eelgill Head, and I should just be following pretty much this stone wall all the way up to him there. And yeah, you can probably see, sorry, I'm spinning you around all over the shop. Wastwater there, the lake. We should get some really nice views, and like I said, we're pretty much going to be guaranteed some nice light, but you can see we're amongst some of the big boys. We've got Great Gable, Scarfell Pike, Barrow, which I went up recently. It is wonderful, and I am thoroughly looking forward to it. So I'm just taking a quick shot here. I was going to get the tripod out, but it's still bright enough that there's no point. I'm shooting this particular composition ISO 64 f11, which is what I want, and then I'm getting 1/40th of a second. So for me, I think I've said before, 1/30th of a second is the slowest I'd go. That's my limit without a tripod. So 1/40th, that'll do me. So I'll tell you what, probably another reason why I'm not really bothering with the tripod. It is as simple as it gets. We've got a nice hiking track, a path leading up into what's Great Gable there. We've got Ling Mel off in the background. And then just a couple of trees, one on the left-hand side, one on the right-hand side across this side of the path as well. Just makes for a nice sort of balance as well. Now, in saying that, I am shooting this in a portrait dimension orientation like that. I was going to shoot in a landscape. Let me see if I can show you here. Right, I'll pop this up on the screen now. I was going to shoot the composition something like that, as you're seeing it there. So it looks all right, but the sort of fell that you can see on the top right of what I'm recording here is kind of like the ascent up to Ling Mel. For me, it's a little bit right-hand heavy. That particular fell up there on the top right-hand side for you, it holds too much weight for me, you know. Whereas if I spin it round like that, I feel as if everything kind of balances a little bit better. There we go, I'll zoom out slightly, yeah. And what I'm doing, I was doing this a little bit in last week's video, albeit with the wide angle lens, but again, there's no point in angling up like that. I need to angle down, don't need all of that blue sky, and just get more of the pathway in. And it's a nice little foreground element and a leading line there as well. Like I said, as simple as it gets, really. Those pesky Herdwicks, man. Just staring at me, munching away. No, I absolutely love them. Yeah, they just love a good peek. So, as you can see, we are set up very, very low down for another quick shot. I say a quick shot, actually. This one's really quite difficult when it comes to the technical side of things. Composition's quite simple. I've got the wide angle lens on, in at 14mm, and I'm just down really low and very close to some of these cotton grasses. I've always wanted to get an image of these, I never have. And then we've got the sun on the left hand side. I've got the wide angle lens on so I can get like a sun star effect. And then we've got like sort of U-barrow over there on the right hand side of the frame, and probably a little bit of, oh, I don't know his name, is it Kirk Hill? Oh, goodness me. What are you called, man? Kirk Hill, I'm going to go with. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen. So yeah, the composition's decent. It's nicely balanced. Not going to be the best shot in the world, but again, we're angling downwards. We want less sky and more foreground. It's almost like we're trying to distract the viewer of the photograph away from the sky. If that makes sense, you know. Look down at the foreground, Mr. Viewer, or Mrs. Viewer. It's 2022, isn't it? Look down at the foreground. There's a lot more going on there, but yeah. Now the technical side of things. What am I on about? The technical side of things is where it's getting a little bit difficult. I've got one image. It's just I'm bracketing basically. I'm going to do an exposure blend when I get back. So I've done one shot that's focused off in the background at f18, and that is for the sun. I'm shooting right into the sun. So that's quite a dark image. That's my dark bracket, you know. And you can see how it's like, without getting too deep in it, you can see how it's multi-purpose, if you will. It's a bracket, so it's quite dark. It's a f18, so I can get my sun star, and I've focused on the background as well. Multi-purpose, if that makes any sense. And then the second image, I've changed my focused on the cotton grass down here. I've changed my aperture to f11 to make it brighter in the foreground, and then yeah, I'll blend them together. And sorry, I should mention as well, a much quicker shutter speed, because these cotton grasses are swaying about all over the gaff, even though there's only a tiny little bit of breeze. Yeah, 1/160th of a second. So hopefully I can blend them together well in post. And yeah, that'll be quite a pleasant little photograph, you know, not too bad at all. And then yeah, we'll have to make a move because that sun is dipping down. Oh, you beauty. We are at the top. And look, oh, you may be able to tell behind me, it's gone a little bit dim. There's no light on the land. But as I'm looking back towards the west, or the northwest this time of year where the sun is setting, it's I think we're going to be lucky because we've got a strip of cloud that the sun is currently sort of hid behind. It is still 40 minutes till the sunset. And I thought that was it when I was a bit lower down because I couldn't see what was underneath that sort of strip of clouds. But yeah, it's looking, fingers crossed, really probable that the sun is going to come down below that strip and we're going to get all that light again. And it's going to be even nicer than it was before. Oh, it's really cool. You can even see the Isle of Man fairly clearly out off into the Irish Sea. It looks so cool. Now Wainwright says about Ilgill Head, quite bluntly, as he does, that the views from the summit are pretty rubbish. I suppose he doesn't say it like that. What he means is, he says, I remember it vividly from the book, if you go 35 yards towards Wastwater, the views open out, you can see the lake, and it's a much better perspective basically than the actual summit itself. But yeah, even here, it is lovely, and fingers crossed that light comes back because that is going to make this evening a stunner. I'll tell you what, quite a lot, bearing in mind what I wanted to make this video about, quite a lot of cloud has sort of come in from the west or the northwest and the north, and it's brilliant. It's made for some like great conditions, which I suppose just shows you, if I look straight up now, it's just pure blue skies, whereas over there, there's so much more interest and there's some colour in those clouds already. So yeah, it's looking good. Oh goodness me, so the sun, where's she gone? She's just starting to dip down now. You know what? I've got one word here, overthinking. I think that's what I'm doing here. I started this video off earlier on by, I suppose moaning. It's probably a little bit harsh, but yeah, I was saying the sky was too blue, and now I'm going to moan again because I mean, look how beautiful it is behind me. Look at it, it's gorgeous. But I just cannot seem to get its composition. I cannot seem to get the composition right. But what I'm saying about overthinking here is, I feel like it could just be one of them shots where we just have to be stood here, which I say all the time. And, you know, I mean it when I say it. I've worked hard to get up here. It's took me sort of 2 hours to be here now at sunset. What are we at now? Yeah, 9:45. And maybe this just needs a snapshot, but I think I just want more out of it. I want to play around with composition a little bit more. I think it's quite a personal thing, you know. This kind of wider shot here, it's just not really challenging me. It's not like inspiring me that much. Although it might be a nice photograph, you know. So I hope you understand what I mean there. The best shot that I feel that I might have got is I've tried a little bit of a pano, zooming in at 70mm and just going from left to right, and just having like a tiny little bit of the northern end of Wastwater at the bottom of the frame, and then just going from Barrow to Kirkfell, which I called Kirk Hill before. I don't know why on earth I called it that. Then Great Gable, and then maybe a little bit of Scarfell Pike, depending on where I want to cut the panel, you know. But it's quite nice, you know. The light is quite subtle on the land. Looks pretty cool on the sort of left hand side of Great Gable, but I'm not sure. But that might be the best one. Another thing that was a little bit annoying about the wider shot was all these rocks that you can probably see around me. They're a little bit messy, so to try and get rid of a few of those with the pano, I think was helping, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe overthinking it a little bit, and probably being a bit of a moany landscape photographer again. But whichever's my favourite one out of that lot, I'll show you now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you like it. If you've just seen it then and you like it, please comment below and tell me, because I don't know, I think it's less about whether or not the photograph's any good, which sounds silly because that's why we come out and take photographs for the most part, is because we want to capture good ones. But I don't know, I think that sort of the challenge of composition is a big part of what I enjoy about photography, and I don't feel like I've done anything, you know, special there other than take the sort of obvious shot. I don't know, probably being a bit harsh on myself as well, but comment below, let me know. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get back down to the van, and yeah, please hit the thumbs up button. As I always say, it proper helps me out. Hit the subscribe button, even better. And yeah, please tune in next week. I'll probably be round here at Wastwater somewhere for the sunrise for that particular video, so subscribe if you'd like to see that. And yeah, I appreciate your support, and I shall see you on the next adventure. Out.